Alright, okay. Hello. Hi. I've never made a YouTube video before. This is crazy. Hi, okay. Alright, let me calm down. Alright. Let me simmer down. Okay. So, what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna explain my entire life story. Because it's pretty interesting and pretty traumatic. I'm not gonna lie to you. So, fair warning. Child abuse. And a bunch of other shit. So, okay. I don't know if you've come from my TikTok, but basically on there I was explaining that, I was making regular videos for a while, and then something happened, and now I'm gonna be living in this car in like 2 months maybe. So, hopefully, maybe like, probably 2 though. So, we're getting ready for that, and, I'm just gonna document the entire thing and explain why and how this happened and what's going on and why it's going on. Okay. Alright. I guess I should start from the beginning. Alright. Let me organize. Hold on. Wait, I've never done this before. Let me organize my shit real quick. Okay. So, to start. Okay, it's gonna be sad. This is gonna be sad. I ain't gonna lie. This is gonna be sad. So, when I was a kid, well, let me start. My parents are not the best. Okay. Alright, it's about to get serious. Alright, here we go, y'all. Here we go. You don't know me, and now you're about to. So, yay. But, okay. My earliest memories are of my parents fighting, which I know, Yeah, whatever. And they also neglected the fuck out of me. I remember being home alone a few times. And, I got really fucking sad. And my mom said that I started having an eating disorder at the age of 2.5 because they would just let me go in the fridge and eat whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, and nobody stopped me. Nobody said anything. And she said that even in school, I would just buy a second lunch, even. So, I've always been on the bigger side of things, you could say. And then when I was 5 years old, well, before that even, I have memories of my dad not being so kind to me, and my mom was at work, so, But my dad, I remember one time, my mom said that my dad would take me to the mall, and then she left, and then I was like, alright, Dad, let's go to the mall, and he just blatantly ignored me, like, he didn't even speak to me, he didn't look at me. So I remember that one, too. I was like, I don't think you're supposed to be doing that, sir. I was like, what? Wait a minute, you said we'd go to the mall, and now you're not even looking at me. I have another memory of, I wrote the F word on a piece of paper to just even try to get in trouble, any kind of attention ever, and he just looked at it, and then looked at me, and then went back on his game. So I was like, oh, not even, damn. So, that's why I would eat so much, because, like, what the fuck else am I gonna do? Oh, who else am I gonna talk to? I ain't got none. And then when I was 5, my brother was born, and I'll put a picture of him. He's had Down syndrome, autism, a bunch of shit. And, he couldn't speak, he was basically like a toddler forever, up until he died at the age of 14, which I'll get into that one. I'm bouncing around right now. There's so much to tell you. So, yeah, my brother, I'm trying to get in the flow state with talking, but I'm jumbled. I don't know why. Alright, let me simmer down. Okay. My brother, yeah. And my dad tried to get my mom to get rid of my brother before he could come out, and she didn't do it. And so, he came out and changed everybody's life. And my dad basically just became non-existent, even more than he already was. And I have this memory of him yelling at me to grab my brother out of a high chair. I was like 7, I think, and I dropped him. I dropped my brother out of a high chair, and I heard him hit his head, and he started crying. And then my dad was just kind of like, "Why'd you do that?" So that was pretty bad. But that's just the beginning as well. I fucking. And then so 2008 happened, and the housing crisis. So we had to move states away, and I had a lot of friends at my school. I really did. I was a social fucking butterfly. I had a lot of friends in like kindergarten and then half of first grade, and then we moved states away, and I had to live with my grandma and her boyfriend, and her boyfriend was not a good guy. He did some shit, not to me, but to someone else, someone younger. I'll get into that too, maybe. There's a lot there's a lot to tell you. So we moved, and I moved in the middle of first grade, and when I started this new school, I was terrified. I became an introvert. I became reclusive to myself. I didn't talk to anybody. I was too scared to talk to anybody. I was like, because it was in the middle of the year, into a whole new school. Everybody already knew each other, and I'm just here. I'm just like, oh, well, shit. So, in school, I don't think I had any friends till 3rd grade, I think. Pretty much. 3rd grade was when I met someone, but before that, I'm trying to get into the bad stuff first, so I can get the bad shit out of the way, the trauma out of the way. Yeah. 1st grade, I didn't make any friends until 3rd grade, which I made one friend. And then 4th grade, I met this girl, and her parents, well, she lived close to me, so I would walk over to her house sometimes, and her parents were either on meth or heroin. I don't know which one specifically. So I noticed that I would like, oh, these people are on drugs. I don't know how I knew what drugs were, but I knew that because I knew they didn't look right. You know what I'm saying? Like they look like, you know what they look like. So I was like, what the fuck? And then I was like, okay, well, the only person I'm really friends with is somebody whose life is hard. Does that mean my life is hard? So that's when I first started to be able to be like, okay, well, something don't seem right. Because the people I click with are going through some shit. So why am I clicking with these people? Am I going through some shit? That's when I started reflecting. Fucking 4th grade, bro. I was like, wait. Okay, I was recording in the car, and then it got really hot. Also, I'm very jumbled, and this is my first YouTube video. I don't know what I'm doing. So, sorry that it was so jumbled. Hopefully my next one will be better, but I'm gonna continue the story, but I'm gonna give myself a second right now, because I need to be like, alright, how do I make YouTube videos without sounding stupid? So I need to go figure that out, but thank you for watching.